Pramod Arya, as sir has introduced myself, I am faculty in the IFA University Jaipur. Today my topic is laser assisted additive manufacturing. In last 4 days, last 3 days continuously on the topic of 3D printing, a lot of discussion has been held and so many topics has been covered. So of laser in different additive manufacturing. In most of the cases, we are seeing that laser or the electron beam are the main processes being used in the part of additive manufacturing. Now we see the outlines, how I will cover is introduction, additive manufacturing process, then laser-based additive manufacturing, then the materials and applications up to some extent and materials on which we can work. Additive manufacturing, although it has been discussed repeatedly, but to start my topic, is the additive manufacturing, also known as 3D printing, is a transformative approach to industrial production that enables the creation of lighter, stronger parts and systems. Although in the traditional way we are producing the things, but the difference is in the traditional manufacturing we are removing the material, whereas in the additive manufacturing or the 3D printing, we are adding the material. So as the name additive manufacturing itself, adding the material. So we see it is yet another technological advancement made possible by the transition from analog to digital process. If we are seeing in the electronics or the computer scenario, so from analog to digital, we are proceeding. In recent decades, communications, imaging, architecture, engineering have all undergone their own digital revolutions. Now, in our mechanical point of view, we are seeing we have to proceed further at the production technology part we are discussing. So, additive manufacturing can bring digitally flexibility and efficiency to manufacturing processes. Additive manufacturing uses data, that is computer-aided design software or 3D object scanners to direct hardware to deposit material layer upon layer in precise geometric shape. Now we see as its name implies additive manufacturing means adds material to create an object. By contrast, when you create an object by traditional means, so means additive का मतलब ही यहाँ पर होता है कि adding some material. It is often necessary to remove material through milling, machining, carving, shaping, or other means in the traditional way. The term 3D printing and rapid prototyping are casually used to discuss additive manufacturing. Each process is actually a subset of additive manufacturing. So we can say additive manufacturing is in the broader sense and 3D printing or rapid prototyping are the subset of additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing seems new to many because a lot of work is being going on, and sometimes it seems it is the new process, but it has actually been around for several decades. In the right application additive manufacturing delivers a perfect trifecta of improved performance, complex geometrics, and simplified fabrications. As a result, opportunities abound for those who actively embrace additive manufacturing. So a lot of things are there, lot of possibilities are there. How does additive manufacturing work? The term additive manufacturing reference technologies that grow three-dimensional objects one superfine layer at a time. तो एक एक लेयर को हम उस पर लेते जाते हैं तो it is saving the time. So each successive layer bonds to the preceding layer of melted or partially melted material. Objects are digitally defined by computer-aided design software. So computer-aided software which we are using from a very long time So the objects are digitally defined in this software that is used to create .html files that essentially slice the objects into ultra thin layers. We can say FEM. We are converting a drawing into a FEM, finite element, we can say. So in this one, this information guides the path of a nozzle or print heads as it precisely deposits material upon the preceding layers. Or a laser or electron beam selectively melts or partially melts in a bed of powder material. So we can see in most of the processes in the additive manufacturing, either we are using electron beam or sometimes we are using laser or electron beam, both the processes we are using. So as the material pools
Kindly share the screen.
Sir, screen is not coming, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not visible, sir.
Sir, move नहीं हो रही screen. हाँ, now movable, sir.
Sir, it's not visible. Yeah, right now it's visible.
Sir, now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So just now I was discussing the files we are creating in the CAD. Now for the purpose of additive manufacturing, we have to convert the file from the .dwg files or any other extension to the STL file. So what the STL stands for? STL file is standard tessellation language or stereolithography. File is a format that describes surface geometry of a 3D object without any color, texture, or other attributes. So now we see how we are converting the files. The files can be converted in STL files, and so many different softwares are available in the markets. But sometimes some of the drawing software or the CAM software may not be supporting directly. So before we come to the theory part, here is a practical note about which programs you can use to open STL files. There are many different programs, but not every operating system supports every program, and not all are available for free. Available for free are the some of the software like MeshLab that supports on Windows, Mac, Linux, GLC Player. Again, it is on the Windows, Mac, Linux. So supporting all the files, Blender, Google SketchUp, Mesh Mixer, Microsoft Builder, 3D Builder, which supports mainly on Windows. Some other files are also there that we can say for the commercial purpose, like CAD software and others. These are not available as a free software. Now, additive manufacturing process. Powder bed fusion is the process technology used in a variety of additive manufacturing processes, which includes the direct metal laser sintering, selective laser sintering, selective heat sintering, electron beam melting, direct metal laser melting, and so on. Now we will see wherever, whenever we are going with the different processes, a lot of processes are there and the different names are given. So in the initial stages, sometimes we are confused. How many different processes at a time to tell, it is not so easy. So these systems use laser, electron beams, or thermal print heads to melt or partially melt ultra fine layers of material in a 3-dimensional space. As the process concludes, excess power is blasted away from the object. So here we will see 3D CAD model in slice which has been converted in the .html file. Then powder is there. So deposition of a powder layer. Then melting of the powder by a laser beam. Then lowering, and a final component we are getting, that is the novel geometry of serial materials. As my topic is the laser assisted manufacturing, going through in the different researches has been done, are in the available, are the patented. we see, although in most of the cases either the electron beam or laser is being used, but what I found, the four processes seems to be more important, which are being discussed, and all the processes are also patented also, like selected laser sintering, that is known as SLS, another selective laser melting, SLM, laser engineering, net shaping, the short name is LENS, and direct metal deposition, DMD. Selective laser sintering and selective laser melting are interchangeably used so many times. The major difference between the two is in the selective laser sintering, and we are using on the different materials, but SLM is mainly being used for the metals. That is the major difference, and most of the things are same. Now we will see the comparison and merits and demerits of all the four processes, that is SLS, SLM, LENS, and DMD. In the selective laser sintering, merits are wide range of materials can be used. No extra support needed other than the powder bed. Then good for intricate and complex shape, fast build time, good part stability. Demerits are difficult to produce pure metallic parts. As I have already told, the SLS and SLM, that is the major difference is selective laser melting. In that one we are particularly working for the metal. So rough grainry and porous surface finish. The large shrink rates increases the tendency for the prototype to wrap.
हेलो सर, प्रमोद
sir.
सर स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रखी है,
सर मैं
एक बार दोबारा करिए सर आप।
जी सर।
ओके सर,
Now,
ओके
sir?
ओके।
Yes. So I think in between I have to change it from the starting repeatedly. Okay, that I will do, sir. Yeah. So in the second one, that is the direct laser metal sintering or direct laser metal sintering or the selective laser melting, both are the name being used. In the previous one, it was the laser sintering, and here we are using laser melting. So in the sintering and melting, only the difference, mainly what I found is of the process where we can use the different metals, whereas in the SLM we are using for the metals. So merits are produce high density metallic scaffold and implants, almost negligible post processing is needed, highly complex geometrics can be easily produced, part well supported by powdered bed during build-up. Demerits are not suitable for large lots or for large parts with simple geometries because of slowness of process. Laser beam size is only 0.03 mm diameter, which builds along the z-axis in a step of only 0.05 mm. The process is relatively expensive. Then third one, I told you, that is the laser engineered net shaping, that is the LENS. LENS good for fabrication of scaffold and coating of implants, fully dense part with negligible microporosity, wide range of metal powder can be processed, functionally graded scaffold can be produced with controlled porosity and material property. Whereas the demerits are the built part needs cutting off from the substrate except when coating, finishing procedures required post cladding, residual stress is produced in the generated prototype, then limitation of slope in producing inclined surfaces, then low dimensional accuracy. Fourth one is direct material deposition. Fourth one is DMD, direct metal deposition. DMD, very good for coating. Merits are very good for coating and repairing applications. So DMD mainly we will see it is being used for the repairing purpose mainly. Fully dense prototypes can be produced. Wide range of metallic powders can be processed. DMD parameters can be easily manipulated to create variation of properties in structure. Composite and functionally graded parts can be easily produced. Demerits: the built part needs separation from the substrate except for coating or repair. Second one, the surface finish is rough and demands finishing procedures. Residual stresses after cladding are induced. Limitations of slope in producing inclined surface, which was in the lens also. Then low dimensional accuracy, then problem of oxidation for some metal, particularly with titanium. Now we see, first we are seeing lens. In the lens process, जो third number पे मैंने discuss किया था, in that one we will see these are the four components. A laser beam number one, created by a laser generators, focused through a lens. Lens number two, this one is a lens. Then third one, a lens two onto the workpiece, metal powder that is deposited here coming from this one like this. Our metal wire is introduced at the focus of the laser beam, where the metal powder and workpiece metal melt and thus building on the surface an inert gas. Inert gas is coming from this way, that is 4. Is supplied to protect both laser and the melt from contamination during the welding process. The cross section of the detail is thus built up step by step until the complete details is created. The method can also be used to repair damaged or worn surface and is then often described as a laser welding with powder. So somewhere, if we are using the laser welding process, so we can say that is the lens, laser engineered net circuit. Lens has the unique capability of producing parts with thin walls and high depth to diameter aspect ratio. Parts have been fabricated with 0.014 inch, that is 0.356 mm, diameter holes and 1 inch tall, having a depth to diameter aspect ratio of more than 70:1. Another unique processing feature of lens is the capability of selectively applying metal to existing parts or repairing worn or broken parts while maintaining the integrity of the parent metal. So sometimes we require to increase the thickness or to increase, or we want to deposit the material on the existing part, or some repair is required. At that time we are using this one. Now see, some of the example, this is, the figure shows hip stems that were directly fabricated using lens with various amounts of micro porosity to reduce bulk density and effective stiffness. So in this one, a fabricated hip stem, then only the particular this part is required. The solid hip stem with less than 2% volume porosity, then 20% volume porosity. Now, another process, fourth number, is direct metal deposition. So DMD is an AM technique or additive manufacturing technique in which metallic structures can be built layer by layer through laser melting of metallic powders and subsequent cladding on a substrate material. So we see here the POM DMD machine, direct metal deposition machine, operates through a computer numerical controlled CO2 laser. So CO2 laser beam, it is coming here, focusing on a substrate or already cladded materials, melt pool, while at the same time injecting material, melting and depositing a small amount of metal powder that is flowing through coaxial nozzles. So we see the nozzle shielding gas is coming on this side, then CO2 laser beam, then we are producing the powder feeder from one side, then feedback sensor 1 and 2 on two sides we are having, then solid free from the shape by direct deposition. So some of the shapes are already deposited, and in that one we are depositing the material. So the laser scans the substrate under the instructions of a program that is driven by the features and parameters of the CAD model. imported from commercial solid model. Thus, in this way, the object can be directly manufactured without any complex tooling. So here no tooling is required, simply guidance is required. We are having the sensor, then from one side the laser beam is coming, then nozzle shielding gases or the shielding gases envelopes we are having prepared, and that is the reason in the comparison we discussed the oxidization is one of the problem. So thus, in this way, the objects can be directly manufactured without any complex tooling. A feedback control system in a DMD machine provides a closed loop control to maintain uniform deposition thickness, thus significantly reducing post-processing time. Now, it is possible in a DMD process to generate structures with controlled properties at micro and macro levels without significant heat treatment, since the laser creates a very small heat affected zone. So in the laser assisted DMD, it can be used on almost any metallic surface and processes the ability to mix metals in more than one way to create graded structures. The third one, in my four processes, selected laser sintering, that I will discuss in detail also. That is selective laser melting, and SLS, that is selective laser sintering. The process I will discuss it in detail. So before discussing in detail the processes, one thing is required: how to monitor the additive manufacturing in stainless steel. Sometime it is also required कि what are the parameters required and which one process is suitable for the evaluation of the monitoring methods. So to monitor laser assisted additive manufacturing process by using 2-3 different methods were used in EOS Finland, and also by using active illumination imaging system. So 3 processes were used, and result indicate that pyrometer is the most suitable method for monitoring and controlling the process to achieve best quality in laser assisted additive manufacturing. That means here we see the comparison between monitoring methods for laser sintering. In this one, the 3 processes, 3 different methods were used: spectrometer, active illumination imaging system, and pyrometer. Then the main parameters which are required, that is the integration time, accuracy, ease of installation, amount of measuring data, price, comparing all these things based upon the data. It was concluded that pyrometer is comparatively good at all the places. Now, SLS mechanism. Moving laser beam sintered heat fusible powdered in area corresponding to the CAD geometry model, one layer at a time to build the solid part. After each layer is completed, a new layer of loose powders is spread across the surface. Layer by layer, the powders are gradually bonded by the laser beam into a solid mass that forms the 3D part geometry. In areas not sintered, the powders are loose and can be poured out of completed part. Now see, selective laser sintering process. So in this is an adaptive rapid prototyping technique that uses a high power laser to fuse small particles of thermoplastic metals, polyimide, nylon we can say, ceramic or glass filled nylon. SLS offers the key advantage of making functional parts in essentially final materials depending on use of the part. In this, we see the laser beam is coming, and we are depositing the material, that is the laser beam is focused through the scanning mirror. Then laser beam sintered parts are there. So one by one material is coming, are moving, that is the labeling roller. Material layers are coming one by one, and C. So process parameters are mainly in this one is the powder related, that is the particle shape, size, material properties, duration of pulse, overlap, scan, that is speed, size and spacing, power, dwell period, temperature, layer thickness, etc. These are the main parameters in the process. In the selective laser sintering, the other parameters which are there, that is the layer thickness, is 0.1 mm thick. The part building takes place inside an enclosed chamber filled with nitrogen gas to minimize oxidation and degradation of the powdered material. The powder in the building platform is maintained at an elevated temperature, just below the melting point and our glass transition temperature of the powdered material. Infrared heaters are used to maintain an elevated temperature around the part being formed. A focused CO2 laser beam is moved on the bed in such a way that it thermally fuses the metal to form the slice cross section. Surrounding powder remains loose and serves as support for the subsequent layers. Sometime when in some of the places material may not be reaching, so at that time the surrounding powders may be used. So in the another way, it has been shown like this one, the heaters, then build chamber, powder delivery system. Fourth one is the printed part, reporter, then laser beam. 8 is the laser. So it is like this one, the process has been shown. Purpose of selective laser sintering. The selective laser sintering technology was developed like other RP technology to provide a prototyping tool to decrease the time and cost of the design to product cycle. The strong point of the SLS process is that it can use a wide variety of materials to accommodate multiple applications throughout the manufacturing process. SLS was marketed early with the three main applications, that is conceptual model, functional prototype, and third one is the pattern masters. Since then, they have added on an extra module which incorporate rapid tooling. Since the center station products are high end and require a large amount of upfront capital, the market range they targeted were large manufacturing industries with the capability to handle such specifications. DTM was looking to provide a cost-effective alternative for prototyping to these large industries that depends millions of dollars to develop mass products. Now, current state. The SLS technology currently has a high quality product in the central station line, with their three main advantages being a wide range of build material, high throughput capability, and the self-supporting build envelope. Second, the advantage make the central stations products better suited for industries with a wide range of needs and demand for higher output. The main disadvantage lie in initial cost of the system, peripherals and facility requirements, and maintenance and operations cost of the system. Not only for the selective laser sintering, but other processes, some of the features like maintenance is comparatively a problem, and due to that one in a country like our, in the small industry, it has not been used a lot. So wide range of build materials. The SLS technology currently employs 10 main build materials, which were previously grouped for sale into 3 central modules. Any or all of the build materials can now be purchased for use in the same central stations machine without requiring separate licenses. The modules are described as follows. The casting module. Casting module means the casting module includes 5 different materials. All of the materials in the casting modules are obviously directed at the metal casting foundry industry, from investment cell casting to conventional sand casting. These materials are polycarbonate, true form, cast form, and sand form, ZR2, zircon, and silicon. Then second is the polycarbonate, was one of the original SLS casting pattern materials, but has now been discontinued from use. It is a fairly porous material which allows for easy burnout from an investment cell for casting and a low 0.025% S residue. True form is an acrylic styrene polymer that was released after the polycarbonate material as casting pattern media. It has about a 1% S residue on burnout but can maintain a high dimensional accuracy at 0.005 inches and can build thinner walls and feature down to 0.03 inches. A new material in the casting module and sensor to true form is called cast form. The cast form material is deemed to be more foundry friendly than even true form, in that it requires less effort to burn out the pattern in the investment cell firing process. Then sand form, ZR2 and silicon are direct zircon and silicon foundry sands. They are for use as sand casting cores and molds and can maintain accuracy to 0.02 inches. The sand can be used directly for casting and provide the advantage of building complex cores and that could not be produced using standard coke and drag techniques. Finally, the stand form materials are compatible with both ferrous and aluminum casting processes. Second module is the functional prototyping module. The functional prototyping module consists of 5 different materials that are intended for direct use applications as concept models, secondary tooling, and patterns. Tooling patterns are functional hardware components. The materials licensed under the functional prototyping are Duraform, Form, Nylon, Fine Nylon, Protoform, and SOMOS 201. Third is the rapid tooling module. The rapid tooling module currently consists of 3 materials which are rapid steel, copper polyamide, and laser form. As more innovative direct applications materials are introduced, they will become part of this module. High throughput capability. The sinter station system have high throughput capability compared to other rapid producing machines due to several advantages. These capabilities will vary between the different build materials, but overall can be described as follows. Number 1 is the scanning speed. The scanning speed is essentially the velocity of the laser movement across the part surface while it fuses the build material together. Since the system are equipped with a powerful 50-watt carbon dioxide laser, the scanning speed for most of the build material is very fast, so that large part cross sections can be scanned in seconds. This high rate follows for multiple parts to be built in a short turnaround time. Then 3D part nesting. Since the SLS process builds part in a powdered bed media, multiple parts can be nested throughout the build chamber in all axes. This allows the user to maximize the build output by completely filling the build chamber side to side and top to bottom with parts if necessary. This way, the startup and shutdown time is reduced, as it is divided among many parts instead of just those that would fit in the X, Y build plane. A second advantage to this system is that each part can be built with separate parameter, that is laser power, and if trouble occurs with one part in a batch, it can be terminated without affecting the rest of the build. Then third thing is the large build envelope. in conjunction with the high scan speed and three-dimensional nesting capabilities, a large build envelope that is 15 by 13 by 16.7 provides for a high part throughput in that many small parts or several larger parts can be fabricated in a single build run. Self-supporting build envelope to cap off the exclusive advantages of the centralization system. A self-supporting build envelope provides several key bonuses over other RP technologies. Not only are parts faster to complete due to the lack of post-processing, but they also stand less of a chance of being damaged during mechanical or chemical support removal. Also, as mentioned earlier, this self-supporting powder bed also eliminates any waste materials so that only the materials needed to create the part is used and the rest is recycled for building more parts. Disadvantages are initial cost of the system is high operational and maintenance cost, peripheral and facility requirements. Now, in the SLM and SLS, almost the same except the materials being used. Now we see other processes are also there, like binder jetting. In the binder jetting process is similar to material jetting, except that the print head lay down alternate layers of powdered material and a liquid binder. So printed layer, then pre-wetting, then silicon dispensing is there, and then printed layers we are getting. In the direct energy deposition, DED, another process. The process of direct energy deposition is similar to material extrusion, although it can be used with a wide variety of materials, including polymers, ceramics, and metals, and electron beam gun are laser mounted on a 4 or 5 axis arm metals, either wire or filament, feedstocks or powder. So in the process we see it's self-explanatory because track weight we can maintain. Material extrusion is another process. In this one, the material extrusion is one of the most well-known additive manufacturing process in which spooled polymers are extruded, are drawn through a heated nozzle mounted on a movable arm. The nozzle moves horizontally while the bed moves vertically, allowing the melted material to be built layer after layer. Proper adhesion between layers occurs through precise temperature control or the use of chemical bonding agents. So that is the another process of the additive manufacturing, that is direct energy deposition. With metal jetting, a print head moved back and forth, much like the head on a 2D inkjet print. However, it typically moves on XY Z axis to create 3D object. Layers harden as they cool or cured by ultraviolet light. Then another is the loam, that is laminated object manufacturing. In this one, the solid physical models made by stacking layers of sheet stock, each on an outline of the cross-sectional shape of a CAD model that is sliced into layers. Starting sheet stocks includes paper, plastic, cellulose, metals, or fiber reinforced material. Then the sheet is usually supplied with adhesive backing as rolls that are spooled between two reels. After cutting, excess material in the layer remains in place to support the part during building. So
the screen is not visible again. Now it's visible.
Yes, sir. So in the loam process that I was saying, we are having the different, that is the laser beam is coming, then mirror, it is passing through, then we are having the heated roller, then metal supply roller is another one here, then metal sheet is going on, then by the laser beam, that is the movement in the X and Y direction, then current layers, one by one layer is coming, and the remaining is the waste take up roll is there. So previous layer will come down and another layer will be coming. So that is the loam process. Loam equipments are the moving optics, head, mirror, laser, head roller, sheet material, then supply roll, take-up roll, block, etc. Laminated objects manufacturing, that is the hybrid process which involves adding and subtracting material to create a part. Because till now we were having only one process.
Sir,
that is the
screen
only
visible नहीं है sir. Sir, Pramod sir, sorry.
Sir,
Yes sir, it's now working. Okay sir.
No,
Sir, now
as soon as I am converting it into slide, so I think it go on the some problem. So if it is visible, I can take continuously without slideshow.
Yes sir, एक बार हाँ. Please move sir slides.
Yeah.
Yes sir, now visible, working.
Yeah. So the laminated object manufacturing. So a hybrid process which involves adding and subtracting material to create a part. As discussed in the starting in the additive manufacturing, normally we are saying the adding of the material, but here in the loam process, we are subtracting the material also, because in the diagram, if you see, we are having the supply roll here in this previous one. So waste take-up roll is also there, because one by one layer is coming and some of the material is being used and rest of the material is being again rolled on the another waste take-up roll. So feed spindle supplies the materials, and the take-up spindle controls the excess. Then layers the material with thickness ranges from 0.01 to 0.005 inches. Each layer is cut with a CO2 laser. Basic process material is usually a paper sheet laminated with adhesion on one side, but plastic and metal laminates are appearing. In this one, the layer fabrication starts with the sheet being adhered to substrate with the heated roller. In the second one, the laser then traces out the outline of the layer. Non-part areas are cross-hatched to facilitate removal of the waste material. Once the laser cutting is complete, the platform moves down and out of the way so that fresh sheet material can be rolled into position. So one by one layer is coming कि एक layer आई उसको material जो भी आपको desired shape है उतना deposit हुआ, then it will be heated, then another layer is coming like that one. So in the fifth one, the once new material is in position, the platform moves back up to one layer below its previous position. The process now can be repeated. The loam has a feed spindle and a take-up spindle. Feed spindle from where the material is coming, and a take-up spindle for the build material. The feed spindle holds the roll of virgin material, whereas the take-up spindle serves to store the excess material after the layer is cut. A heated roller travels across the face of the part being built after each layer to activate adhesive and bond the part layer together. An invisible 25-watt CO2 laser is housed on the back of the loam and reflected off 3 mirrors before finally passing through a focusing lens on the carriage. The carriage moves in the X direction and the lens moves in the Y direction on the carriage, thus allowing focal cutting point of laser to be moved like a plotter pen while cutting through build material in the shape design. This X and Y movement allows for the 2 degrees of freedom, are essentially a 2D sketch of part cross section. The part being built is adhered to a removable metal plate which holds the part stationary until it is completed. The plate is bolted to the plater with brackets and moved in the Z direction by means of a large threaded shaft to allow the parts to be built. This provides The third degree of freedom, where in the loam is able to build 3D models. Some smoke and other vapors are created. Since the loam functions by essentially burning through the sheets of material with a laser. Therefore, loam must be ventilated either to the outside air or through a large filtering devices at rates around 500 cubic feet per minute. The way the loam constructs the parts is by consecutively adhering layers of build material while cutting the cross section of the parts with a laser. The loam slice software that comes with loam machine controls all these. Software, as with all RP system, the loam must begin with the standard RP computer file or STL file. The STL is loaded into the loam slice, which graphically represents the model on the screen. Upon loading the STL file, loam slice creates initialization files in the background for controlling the loam machine. Now, there are several parameters the user must consider and enter before building the part. Part orientation. The designed shape of the part to be built in loam must be evaluated for determining the orientation in which to build the part. Very first consideration to be for the purpose of accuracy desired for curved surface is parts with curved surface tend to have a better finish if the curvatures of the cross sections are cut in the XY plane. This is true due to the fact that the controlled motion of the laser cutting in the XY plane can hold better cuts tolerances dimensionally than the layered effect of XY and YZ planes. If a part contains curvatures in more than one plane, one alternative is to build the part at an angle to the axis. The benefits here are twofold, as the part will not only have more accurate curvatures but will also tend to have better laminar strength across the length of the part. Second consideration to be time taken to a fabricated part. The slowest aspect of build process for loom is movement in z direction or the time between the layers. This is mainly because after laser cuts across the surface of the beam material, the loom must bring more paper across the top face of the part and then adhere to the previous layer before the laser can begin cutting again. For this reason, a general rule of thumb for orienting long, narrow parts is to place the lengthiest section in the XY plane, that is laying down at flat. This way, the slowest part of the process, that is the actual laser cutting, is minimized to a smaller amount of layer. There are some third-party softwares renders that have automatic testing functions that will strategically place parts in optimum orientation for the selected section. Next, cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is necessary to get rid of excess paper on individual layers. Cross-hatch sides are set in the loam slice by operator and can vary throughout the part. Basically, the operator puts in a range of layers for which he wants a certain cross-hatch pattern. For sections of the part that do not have intricate features or cavities, a larger cross-hatch can be set to make the part build faster. But for the thin walled sections and hollowed out areas, a finer cross edge will be easier to remove. The cross edge size is given in value of x and y. Therefore, the hedge pattern can vary from square to long thin rectangles. So now we can see figure, that is loam slice can be used to simulate a part build on screen to help verify cross edge pattern. So here for the purpose of this one, we are taking now system parameters. There are various controlling parameters such as laser power, heater speed, material advance margin, and support wall thickness and heater compression. Number one, I discussed the laser power. It is the percentage of total laser output wattage. For example, loam 1015 is operated at a laser power of about 9% of maximum 25 watt laser are approximately 2.25 watt. This value will be different for various materials or machines, but essentially it is set to cut through only one sheet of build material, heater speed. In the heater speed, it is the rate at which hot roller passes across the top of the part. The rate is given in inches per second. It is usually 6 inch per second for initial pass and 3 inch per second for the returning pass of heater. The heater speed affects the lamination of the sheet, so it must be set low enough to get a good bond between layers. Means heater speed we have to set depending upon this one only, the proper lamination we can say. The rate is given in this one, the heater speed affects the lamination. Because it is just like the lamination process in the loam we can say, in which a lot of impact will be of the heater speed, as we can see lamination being done on the papers also. What we are doing, at what speed we are having, what is the power being used. So all the things will affect the proper lamination of the sheet. So it must be set low enough to get a good bond between the layers. But this should be optimized. क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उस स्पीड को इतना स्लो कर दें. इफ स्पीड इज वेरी लेस, then the costing will increase. Then other parameters will also change. Then material advance margin. It is the distance the paper is advanced in addition to length of the part. Means how much material should be passed at a time. If more material is passed, then that may be part of the wastage. So support wall thickness, it controls the outer support box walls throughout a part. The support wall thickness is generally set 0.25 inches in the X and Y direction, although this value can be changed by operator. So support wall thickness can be changed as required. Compression, it is used to set the pressure that the heater rollers exerts on the layer. It is measured in inches, which are basically the distance the roller is lifted from its initial track by the top surface of part. Values for compression will vary for different metals, machines and materials, but are typically 0.015 inches to 0.025 inches. Now, the different materials where the additive manufacturing materials. So many materials are there, and nowadays we require for the economic point of view, then the requirement, weight considerations, then easy to produce. We require the different materials. A lot of materials are available, and the materials on which the additive manufacturing can be done. It is possible to use many different materials to create 3D printed object. So AM technology fabricates jet engine parts from advanced metal alloys, and it also creates chocolate treats and other food items like that. Not only in the metal industry, but different type of chocolates also we can use the 3D printing. Thermoplastics, polymers remains the most popular class of additive manufacturing materials. In India, or at least if we are talking in maximum places, 3D printing, as soon as the name is coming in the mind, most of the time it is think of that we are not using the metal. And such type of seminar and workshops by this one, and these courses are being offered in the different universities. The persons are knowing that not only the thermoplastics and other materials, but we can work on the metals also. Thermoplastic polymers remain the most popular class of additive manufacturing materials like acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, that is ABS, polylactic acid, PLA, polycarbonate, that is PC, each offer distinct advantages in different applications. Now, water-soluble polyvinyl alcohol, that is PVA, is typically used to create temporary support structures, which are later dissolved away. Another material is metals. Many different metals and metal alloys are used in additive manufacturing, from precious metals like gold and silver to strategic metals like stainless steel and titanium. In some of the industries, like gold and jewelry, silver, that is being used for the gems and jewelry markets. I visited industry where we were using the processing. At that time, it was not too much available, but nowadays, in the gems and jewelry market, even in the artificial jewelry, in lot of places, we are using the additive manufacturing process. 3D printers in quantities are available in the Jaipur itself, in Sikapura industrial area. So many industries they are using. Then ceramics. A variety of ceramics have also been used in additive manufacturing, which includes zirconia, alumina, tricalcium phosphate, etc. Also, alternate layers of powdered glass and additives are baked together to create entirely new classes of glass products. So in the ceramics, nowadays, new patterns are coming continuously. Different things we are using made up of ceramics, we are using the tiles, we are using in the home appliances, cutlery we are using. So in this one, so many different changes are coming, and again, this type of process at the beginning, these may be costly. Another thing, that is biochemicals. Biochemicals, healthcare applications include the use of hardened material from silicon, calcium phosphate, and zinc to support bone structures. As new bone growth occurs, so for that purpose, we are using the biochemicals which are being used for the part or implants, we can say. Their support bone structures are required. So researchers are also exploring the use of bioinks fabricated from stem cells to form everything from blood vessels to bladders and beyond. So that will be a very big thing if we succeed. Although researchers are working on this one, that by using the stem cells, if we are in the possible, or it is possible to fabricate the blood vessels and bladders and other things, then it will be a great help for the society. Applications in the different areas, additive manufacturings are being used, not only in the at one place, we can say it is from the very small components from the medical industry, healthcare industry, then aerospace, everywhere we are using. In the aerospace, additive manufacturing excels at producing parts with weight saving, complex geometric designs. Therefore, it is often the perfect solution for certain light, strong aerospace parts. In August 2013, NASA successfully tested an SLM printed rocket injector during a hot fire test that generated 20,000 pounds of thrust. In 2015, FAA cleared the first 3D printed part for use in a commercial jet engine. CFM's LEAF engine features 19 3D printed fuse nozzles. At the 2017 Paris Air Show, FAA certified, being 787 structural parts fabricated from titanium wire were displayed according to the Aviation Week. So in the aviation industry or the aerospace industry, we saw the main limitations are the lighter material, then the proper strength, and the finishing. So all these things are required, and which can be easily made by using the additive manufacturing and the different places we have seen, starting from the 2013 to 17, and further things may be there which I may have not included. Then in the automotive, CNN reported that the McLaren racing team is using 3D printed parts in its Formula One race car. In the automotive, nowadays always be required that due to the cost of the fuel, the lighter materials are required, and the demand is also increasing. So we require the lighter material with the proper strength in the lesser time and the effective cost. So these things are required. So in the automotive, we can say a lot of demand is there, and So for a single industry of automobile, so many different ancillaries are being developed. And in that case, a big role of the additive manufacturing may be there, because here instead of the traditional method, if we can use the additive manufacturing. So CNN reported that this one. So a rear wing replacement took about 10 days to produce instead of 5 weeks. Means in this process we require only very less time. So a rear wing replacement took about 10 days to produce instead of 5 weeks. The team has already produced more than 50 different parts using additive manufacturing. Then in the auto industry, additive manufacturing, rapid prototyping potential garners serious interest as production parts are appearing. For example, aluminum alloys are used to produce exhaust pipe and pump part, and polymers are used to produce bumpers. So previously we were mainly dependent on the materials for preparing for the production of the bumpers and others. Now if we can produce the things in the polymers, then we are seeing for the better aesthetic point of view.
पूरे अपने आप पे होता है, आपसे होता है, तो वो धीरे धीरे लगता है कि सब कोई चीज बढ़ रही है, घट रही है. सही है.
Yes, sir. So next is the healthcare industry. In the healthcare industry, implant is the very main place where the additive manufacturing is required. In the knee replacement, joint replacement, different type of valves. Then we can see even in the dental part, it may be comparatively time saving and fast process. So in different places, we are using additive manufacturing. At the New York University School of Medicine, a clinical study of 300 patients will evaluate the efficacy of patient-specific multicolored kidney cancer models using additive manufacturing. Means even we are using there, the study will examine whether such models effectively assist surgeons with pre-operative assessment and guidance during operations. Then global medical device manufacturing company Stryker are funding a research project in Australia that will use additive manufacturing technology to create custom on-demand 3D printed surgical implants for patients suffering from bone cancer. In general, healthcare applications for additive manufacturing are expanding, particularly the safety and efficacy of additive manufacturing built medical devices is established. The fabrication of one of a kind synthetic organs also shows promise. So synthetic organs, when it will be available, as we have discussed in the previous one, in the healthcare industry, कि जिस दिन अगर हम ये काम करने में सक्सेस हो जाते हैं, तो so many different new paths will be opened. Now next is in the product development. In the product development, where it takes a long time, starting from the design criteria which is coming into mind, then prototyping and others. And it may be taking the different machines we require, and then the object is coming in hand. But in this one, once the idea has been generated and converted into a CAD or the drawing, then immediately we can have a look on that one. And so many different colors may also be available. Even in one of the paper I have read, more than thousands of color may be mixed. So different aesthetic point of view we can change. So product development and the potential for additive manufacturing designs flexibility is realized. Once impossible designs concepts are now being successfully reimagined. So additive manufacturing unleashes the creative potential of designers who can now operate free of the constraints under which they once labored. So जहाँ पर पहले hurdle थी, so many different things we require. Once we have to prepare the prototype, then we require the machines, and that may be delaying the production or the product development process. So it may be fast. Advantages of additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing allows the creation of lighter, more complex designs that are too difficult or too expensive to build using traditional dies, mold, milling, and machining. Because in the traditional method, when we are preparing, when we are removing the material, we require, although the requirement is of only 1 mm thickness, but it may not be possible by the different processes, neither by the casting nor by machining process. So even the different traditional processes like water jet, laser machining, and others if we are using, there also sometimes the doubt that the part may be damaged. So due to that one, these problems may be removed. So lighter, more complex designs. Particularly in the more complex design again, the additive manufacturing will be very useful. AM also excels at rapid prototyping. Since the digital to digital process eliminates traditional intermediate steps. जो स्टेप बाकी के और होते थे, material testing and others that we are doing, instead of that one directly, once it has been converted into the digital process, directly a prototype is in the hand and the testing and other things may be done. So AM also excels at rapid prototype since the digital process eliminates the traditional intermediate steps. It is possible to make alteration on the run. When compared to the medium, additive manufacturing offers a more dynamic, design-driven process. Next, whether additive manufacturing is used for prototyping or production, lead times are frequently reduced. So lead times for certain jet engine parts have been reduced by a year or more. Also, parts once created from multiple assembled pieces are now fabricated as a single assembly, free object. Previously, in the traditional where we require for the complicated component to be prepared in a small pieces, then assembly is being done. So that thing can be done in the single piece only because it may not be possible in the traditional method. So such type of designs we can use this one. In designing everything from bridges to skyscrapers, engineers have long sought to minimize weight while maximizing strength. So as I told you, we require always the parts should be lighter, strength should be more, production should be high, cost should be less. So all the things can be done with additive manufacturing. So with additive manufacturing, designers realize the dream of utilizing organic structures to greatly reduce the weight of object. For example, in the GraphCat bracket challenge, the winning design was just as strong as the original bracket, even though it weighed almost 84% less. Next, complex geometry. The technology enables engineers to design parts that incorporate complexity that is not possible using other methods. Now, sometimes we require complex parts, complex things. So, intricate features such as conformal cooling passage can be incorporated directly into a design. Parts that previously requires assembly and welding or brazing of multiple pieces can now be grown as a single part, which makes for greater strength and durability. Designers are no longer restricted to the limitations of traditional machines and create parts with greater design freedom. So, in the complex geometries, where previously we require the small components are being manufactured, then either assembly being done by way of the bolt, nut, or any other thing, or the welding, brazing, all these things. And instead of that one, directly once you prepare the thing what you want, then the rest of the things will be managed. So complex geometry is the another thing. Then time saving. In the additive manufacturing, it's ideal for getting prototype made quickly. Parts are manufactured directly from a 3D CAD file. We need not require that first you prepare the prototype, then directly then preparing or searching for the machines, then testing machine. And instead of that, once the idea is there, immediately it may be converted into from the 3D CAD file to direct production may be there, which eliminate the cost and lengthy process of having fixtures or dies created. Plus, changes can be made midstream with virtually no interruption in the process. So, in the process itself, in the mid also the different can be done. Then weight shift. By incorporating organic structures into designs, designers can eliminate substantial weight while maintaining the part's strength and integrity. An illustration of this advantage can be seen in GraphCat. Bracket challenge conducted by G. An existing bracket was redesigned for additive manufacturing with this one, so previously which I discussed. Here in this design, weight has been reduced up to 84%. So with this, I think I have to conclude my topic in the almost in the different designs. In the additive manufacturing, we are using either the laser or the electron beam are the most important part which has been discussed in the almost the 3D printing, depending in the processes in different places or the different lectures it has been discussed. So with this, I think from my side, my presentation is over.